Head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, Bill O'Brien, joining us now from State College. And Coach, first of all, welcome to the Big Ten. Glad to have you on board. What has this transition been like for you?
Well, thank you very much, Dave. It's been a great transition. It's been one that it's gone by very fast. I arrived here right after the Super Bowl that Tuesday, and before you know it, we were in spring practice. But it's been smooth. Our guys have really taken to our style of coaching and how we want them to practice and terminology and things like that. And so we've hit the ground running.
No one there knows anything other than Joe Paterno. So what has the biggest challenge been in terms of turning the page?
Well, you know, again, I've said this over and over again, that we've just come in here and tried to be ourselves. And we've got a great bunch of kids here. And, you know, the one thing that we've tried to do is establish a practice tempo and put our systems in. And so far, so good. And that's all we've talked about from day one.
On the field, this was not a great offensive football team, as you know, last year. How have you seen that side of the ball come around here during spring practice?
Well, that's a process. You know, everything's new. The terminology's new. It's like learning a new language. So there's been good days and not so good days, and we're just trying to be more consistent. We got a long way to go, but I'm pretty happy with where we are right now. Again, we have 3 more left in the spring game on Saturday, so we're looking forward to that. And again, training camp will be right around the corner, and we'll shore some things up in training camp also.
Everyone wants to know about the quarterback spot. What can you tell us about the competition there?
Well, all 3 guys have shown out. You know, Matt McGloin's had a good spring. Bolden and Jones, same thing with those 2 guys. So it's a 3-man battle, and there's not a lot of separation right now. And hopefully over the next 2 or 3 practices, there'll be a little bit more separation. We'll be able to make a determination on at least 2 out of those 3. But right now, it's still a 3-man race.
So what's your goal then coming out of the spring? You say make some sort of determination. What do you want it to look like?
Well, you know, obviously it's tough to get 3 quarterbacks reps during training camp. So you'd like to be able to come out of spring with at least 2 guys that you know are 1 and 2, or at least 1A and 1B. But again, we're a little bit of ways away from that. We've got a few days left here to make that determination. But again, that's the goal. And if it's not met, then obviously we'll go into training camp with still splitting reps between 3 guys. But again, rather not do that, rather settle on 2 guys for right now. But we have 3 days left to figure all that out.
You kept a couple of assistants on the defensive side, Larry Johnson and Ron Vanderlinden, who have been there a long time. How have they helped you in your transition?
Well, I was thrilled to have the opportunity to talk to those guys and sit down and interview them, and then obviously ask them to stay on staff, and they both accepted. And again, these are 2 guys that are really good, solid football coaches that care about the mission of Penn State. The balance between academics and football, and then at the same time they've helped the transition of the new staff tremendously, because they've both been here for a long time, with Larry 18 years and Ron 12 years. So they're great additions to our staff, and I was thrilled to be able to keep them on board.
As we focus on that side of the ball, the defensive side, neither of their positions, but the defensive backfield in terms of sheer numbers is obviously a lot thinner than maybe you'd like it to be, safety spot in particular. How has that come around here in the spring?
Well, these guys, you know, we don't have a lot of numbers back there. That's true. But the guys that are back there have practiced well. They practice hard. They're smart guys. They communicate well with each other. So, again, we got to stay healthy. That's the big thing. And coming out of the blue-white game, we want to be a healthy football team, especially in the secondary. And if we can do that, then I look forward to a solid secondary in the fall.
Aside from making sure nobody gets hurt, what will you be watching most closely on Saturday?
Again, I've said this many times over the last couple weeks. I wouldn't expect a bunch of fireworks in the blue-white game. I just want a sharp, organized football team that doesn't commit a lot of penalties, if any, doesn't turn the ball over, communicates well on the field, and plays fast. And that's what I'm looking to gain out of that blue-white game. Again, hopefully it's great weather. Well, if there is, I'm told there'll be about 85,000 people there, which is great. But again, we're not going to show too much in that game. It's a spring scrimmage. It's another chance for us to evaluate our football team, and we're looking forward to it. But again, we've got training camp right around the corner, and we want to meet the goal of coming out of this spring with a very healthy football team. That's the main goal.
New Penn State head coach Bill O'Brien. Coach, really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Dave.